Alright guys, welcome back to Market Breakdown on the weekly basis at Blueberry Funded. So today I want to start with GBPUSD because it was a nice trade. It made like 3%. I will explain this trade so you guys can understand why I took it, and it might help you do the same for the next one, right? So first of all, it's a daily time frame. And if you remember from the last week when we talk about the daily fair value gaps, and where the price is and what it's doing, etc., etc., we know that we had a big ass push to the upside as an impulse movement that broke the structure to the upside, and that it created a lot of fair value gaps in the process. And obviously the long term bias here is bullish, right? So we had a week, I guess. So this is Monday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So from last week, we were in the bearish trend to cover the fair value gap. So the daily fair value gap is not covered. It's not 100%, but still it's covered. And what happened like Friday, we rejected, pushing higher, ended up the day in bullish. And what happened today, we continue higher. So this was my go-to to go into the longs on GU. Now, on the H4, this was an actual decision why I took that trade. So I traded the next 4-hour expansion, as you can see. So we started off first being in the range throughout the Asian session, and then the early London, as you can see, we broke up the structure. So to where my TP was obviously on H4 fair value gap. So this was the structure before that broke with this impulse movement. This was correction phase of this whole movement to the downside. Overall, we're bullish on the daily time frame, and we had a structure here, a range that we broke in the London session. So this was my green light to search for trades. Now TP obviously H4 fair value gap, or let's say number 3700. I didn't round it. I can round it right now. 3700, just like that. And that was the ultimate TP. It wasn't hit to the T, but still like 3% on a Monday. I think it's very good. I can say my week is over, honestly. H1 time frame, just to dive down into lower time frames, so you can see structure clearly here. This was the opening, range throughout the Asian, push higher on H1. This is the fair value gap that was created. So from this point to this region here, but it wasn't the fair value gap I traded from. Okay, I traded from 15 minutes. Why 15 minutes? Because 15 minutes as well created order block. Okay, so in terms of structures and what happened throughout Asian and London, just so so I can explain to you guys, we have support region, we have resistance region, obvious the range. So as you can see, my script, it's a London session, and prior to that, it's Asian session. So what London did was taking out the lows from the Asian session. That's why market did X, took out liquidity. Pushing B higher, okay, taking out this low as well, making the low of the day, as you can see on the London. And then upon the few rejections here, we finally broke. Okay, so we broke between London and New York session open. Yeah, which was enough. And from this point onwards, it continued higher. So this was the actual impulse that started this move, and not down there, okay? Because down there, this impulse movement to the upside did not broke the structure on the left, but rejected. And from this point, we actually broke the structure, which means that my fib was measured from that week and this week. As you can see, my entry was on 705. I knew, okay, it's very much possible that price can definitely reach order block, right? But I did trade it on 50% of fair value gap created between this candle and that one, okay? So I traded this, I rounded the number to the 28, and that's kind of it. Now, the first target, obviously 1%, or the high, which was the 2% trade here, and ultimate was definitely 3700 or 3%, like that, okay, as you can see. Okay, oh, not to the T, so okay, like that, 3% to the T. Okay, so this was the trade idea. Now, let's talk about where we can go from there. Okay, now obviously the short-term perspective will be yes, 3700 wasn't hit. It's very possible that it will. Why? Because we did create another impulse movement in the New York session. We have fair value gap down there. We have an order block. We have everything rejected down there. So, and we have a 50-ish price number. So my best guess will be that price may return down there, reject, boom, and then create a third wave to the upside. So one correction, second correction, third, and actually hit the 3700. If I will trade this, I don't know, because it's kind of 5:30 p.m. UK time for me now. It's London close. I guess not. Come back tomorrow, but you can definitely put in position, but it's going to be overnight trade in the Asian session. And GU, you have GBP currency, which is active, which is UK, which is active for London and New York session, and you have USD, which is active New York session, right? If that makes sense. So you cannot expect a lot of volume in the Asian session. So I would not recommend to trade on the throughout the night. But if you want to, you can. Obviously, it's up to you. I'm not going to. And from higher term perspective, we're gonna start with the weekly, obviously. So weekly started off bullish. We had great rejection there on the weekly fair value gap. We're pushing higher. I do believe that if we can close bullish today, which we will, and tomorrow, that we can continue even higher and cover 50% of this week at least, or even surpass it. Because I saw that we have CPI on the Friday, but given the fact that government shut down in the US, it's possible that it's not going to happen. But overall, I'm bullish. Definitely bullish. I do see price continuation to the upside tomorrow. But we have to see what we have in there, because this is push down, correction, push down, and we're now in correction phase until this level or this latest high is broken. Okay, if you break this high, then this fair value gap is going to be invalidated. This supply area is going to be invalidated. We can push, like, for example, where's brush? We can push like this, and then we can target those highs. Okay, so this will be the ideal setup, and most likely I think it's going to happen on tomorrow or Wednesday, something like that, if this region is not going to hold. Okay, so pay attention. What is this line? Okay, save it. Okay, let's move on to the gold. Okay, gold. So gold H4, as you can see, we rejected this fair value gap last week. And from that point, we are continuing higher. We are currently at the highs of the previous week there, right? If we're gonna surpass it, same shit as for the GBPUSD, break above, test continuation. But we definitely have to check hard time frames. Gold is definitely bullish, covering at least 50% of the week or even go to the all-time highs. We have to keep an eye of the economy and everything going on with the gold. Daily bullish, Friday closed bullish, definitely continuation. So H4, I would stop there. Let me mark that up. Okay, H4 level like that. I don't see any fair value gaps here to target as of this moment. So we will have to see what will happen there. Because if we're gonna take highs out, just week above, close below, then we're good to go into the shorts. But if we break above and close, retest and continuation. But stuff can happen on lower time frames. Like currently on H1, we had a structure today, nothing much happened, and in the late New York, we continued higher, broke the structure above, which is fine. So structure, impulse, break of structure, correction. But we are at the H4 highs as of this moment. So given the fact that we touch it first time, I think it wouldn't be smart that you will trade as trade. Like definitely, technically is definitely the trade. Like on 15 minutes, you can see a nice structure being created in the New York session. London close, broke above, create an order block, same stuff that happened on GBPUSD. Order block, fair value gap, and we have a 55,040-ish price number there to be, as a confluence. And yeah, I think it's great, but it can happen in Asia, which most likely it will. But the problem for me is that we are at extreme highs of the 4 hour level, which is not smart to trade, because like you would gamble. Like the good setup happened in the New York, but I didn't find the entry because this is not good entry criteria for me. But technically, this will be the ideal, like from the bottom of the range, boom, to the upside. And at the last wave to squeeze in the last pips. Because what can happen, like let's say you go in there, you go stop loss below the order block, your TP must be like this high or H4 high on the left side. Not saying it's not a good trade, it's 2.5%, definitely good one, but like technically what can happen, price can come there, okay, reject, push higher, blah 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 blah, boom, take everyone out and then continue higher. So pay attention to this region, what will happen there. I think it's best that you wait out the Asian session and then reevaluate in the morning or prior to New York session and trade it. But I want to see what will happen in this region, whether we break it, reject it, and then continue from there. Okay. EURAUD, I like that pair very much last year. Definitely bearish. Not gonna lie, we are pushing down, so I'm not gonna waste time here. Daily time frame, nice structure to the downside, highs and low, highs and low, highs and low. Okay, so on daily we are at the daily lows. We did a push higher, took liquidity and fall down, distributed the price down, so we are at the daily low, H4, at the H4 lows. So what I'm gonna do now is like that. Okay, like that. So we are currently at the H4 support region. Fine. Overall bearish. Look at this H4, how beautiful it works. Look, H4, boom. If you don't scalp, if you don't day trade, you can swing it. It's a beautiful trade on H4. You have like 250 pips to the downside, very easy. Like breakout structure, impulse, correction, boom, into the order block, continuation. Keep it simple, guys. One trade, it can make you a challenge, So in this case, H4, we had a collapse today. We are at the bottom of the range of the structure. We did touch it last week. We continue higher. We broke it down below. So closure, as you can see, we have a closure below this low, which is fine, but we didn't close below that low. So this low is still in that way protected. And on H4, we had this impulse movement that happened in the New York session, because like this move higher is London that took out the highs of the last week, Friday. Then continued lower on the New York session, we created fair value gap. Okay, 15-minute, definitely a big ass impulse to the downside. We have the low, we broke it here, we have a fair value gap. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the order block candle. Okay, not this, but whole push to the high is order block. So where would you want to trade this is basically there at the bottom. Okay, boom. Let's try the fib. Exactly. Okay, and for confluence we have 68.49. I would say 50ish as a price number confluence. And to be smart about it, you wanna move your entry at least 2-3 pips below, for the spread. Let's say 45. 45 is cool. I think it's not the middle of everything. Yeah, probably good. Okay, but this trade is, I think, can be very good for Asian. Like this, stops above the high, 30 pips. Target will definitely be the low, 2%. Why not? I'm fine with 2%. It's very good. Okay, so this trade can definitely happen in Asian session. So guys, if you want to trade it, pay attention. I don't know if I'm gonna trade it. I made 3% today. I'm fine for the week. But interesting. X break of structure. break of structure there. We have this collapse in the New York session, so London took out liquidity. Okay, New York session broke the structure, made an impulse. We have a correction phase. Asian can continue, and if we wanna do that, you can do that. No, like that. Okay, so pay attention to every AD for possible shorts. And yeah, go from there. I'm not gonna waste my time with EURAUD. No fun, as you can see, no fun. So guys, that's it. Let's go to quickly to the economy. Monday, nothing happened. Tuesday, we have USD core retail sales in the New York session. USD on Wednesday as well. Unemployment rate, non-farm employment change. Thursday, GBP in the morning, USD unemployment claims, and Friday, CPI. Okay, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, definitely volatile enough for you to trade, but technically you can trade every time. Whenever you see setup, you trade, regardless of the news. But pay attention to your rules of your account. Choose what account you choose to trade with. It's up to you, but pay attention. If you can trade rules, you can trade rules. It is what it is. Okay. Thank you for guys for watching. Keep it safe, trade smart, not hard, and go from there. Bye bye.